Across all these great platforms, I hope you're having a wonderful afternoon. You are halfway through your work week, but it gets better. You are less than 36 hours away from pro football being back. Yes, the sports gods are with us. They are blessing us. And we don't just have one game tomorrow. We have another on Friday to get us ready for a great Sunday week one schedule. Welcome everyone into the show. I'm your host for the Butt Fumble Sports Show today. If you have questions on sports betting, we're here for it. If you need help with your research around sports betting, we're here for it. But most of all, if you need fantasy football advice, you've come to the right place. Butt Fumble Sports is going to be answering all of your fantasy football questions for at least the next hour. So throw them in the comment section, throw them in the chat, and of course, make sure you follow, make sure you subscribe, make sure you're a member of the best community of sports fans across all of social media. Butt Fumble Sports is a channel created by a sports fan for you real sports fans at home. My background is in sports content, programming, and content development at ESPN, Fox Sports, CBS Sports, and with Jim Rome. I've produced fantasy sports shows and sports betting shows, so I decided, why not create a channel of my own, and that's exactly what I've done. Butt Fumble Sports, trying to give you the best advice possible every single day. Make sure you guys are with us every day. We are live at 4:30 Monday through Friday, and we are live at Sunday mornings at 10 a.m., so make sure you're with us. If you're looking for MLB picks, wait. If you're holding on for fantasy football, wait 1 second. But if you do want MLB picks, they are already up on the board. We've got our eye on the Phillies and the Blue Jays. I like the Phillies to win, Blue Jays plus 1.5 in that one. But some other games that we like, Orioles on the money line. Look out for the Marlins to potentially get a plus 1.5 cover in their game against the Nationals. Expect that game to go over. I like the over in the Red Sox and Mets game. Red Sox and Mets, look for the over. Rockies and Braves, I like Braves on the money line. I also like the under in that one. Cubs on the money line with Shota Imanaga on the mound. Look for the Yankees to cover tonight against Nathan Eovaldi. Also look for the over in that game. I know it's Eovaldi at home, but Eovaldi and Stroman, look for the over. And surprise, surprise, of all games, I actually think the Angels could cover against the Dodgers. You can get that at plus 2.5 at a really good spot. Those are some of the picks we like. If you want help with your sports betting research, we're happy to do that. But I know most of you are here for fantasy football advice, so let's get at it. Buddy Guy, great to have you with us. Prime GTS, I got Burrow, Saquon, K9, Chase, Kupp, Pitts, and Najee. Solid team, very solid, a very solid team. Don't love Najee Harris, but since he's your third running back, you should be okay. Feeling good about that. Buddy Stream, really appreciate the great comments and the good vibes. Prime GTS, I like Singletary a little bit more than Najee, if I'm being honest. Midwest Juice, great to see you. Hope you're enjoying your day. Cod, T. Higgins, or Rashee Rice. I'd go Rashee Rice, especially since it seems Jamar Chase is going to be back. He was at practice today. I take Rashee Rice. Bob Jeff Supreme, should I trade Breece Hall for White MGH? I would not. I'd stick with Breece Hall. Nate Hollins, do you like Derrick Henry over 15 rushing attempts? Yes, I do. I do like him over 15 rushing attempts. I don't think they used him. I don't think they signed him as a decoy. I really do think he'll get the usage. Are you guys doing fantasy leagues again? We've done a bunch. We're not doing any today. Do you think Josh Allen is a bust this year? I think he's going to regress. I'm not going to call him a bust. He'll be good enough to qualify as a top 5 fantasy quarterback, but I don't think he's going to live up to the number 1 overall hype. Thoughts on Gibbs, Jamar Gibbs, week 1. I like him. I don't love him. I like him now that I know he's healthy. I don't love him because I think they've been preparing for David Montgomery for the last 2 weeks. D. Turner, great to see you. Feel like I just robbed someone. Half PPR, traded Jamar Chase and Brooks for JT, Drake London. I have Marv. So you're getting JT and Drake London. I love that side of the deal. So yes, you got a better of it. Lucas, how's my 12-man team? Kyler, Gibbs, White, DK, Garrett Wilson, Ferguson, and Zay. Really solid. I'd love to know who your backup running backs are, but your wide receivers are loaded. Love that you got Kyler Murray, big on Gibbs. I like the team overall. It's a B+ for me. If your backup running backs are really good, I'd make it an A-. Coleman or Metcalf? Metcalf. Are you talking this week? Coleman, I need to see something. I don't quite know what I'm getting from him, so I'm going to lean just slightly towards Metcalf. Zonk OT, start 2. Diggs, Ridley, Waddle. Interesting question. I'm going to lean just slightly for the moment towards Waddle, and I'll say Diggs. I actually think Diggs could have a good week 1. Bob Jeff Supreme, start 3. Higgins, Rice, Smith, Metcalf. I'm going to say Rice, I'll say Smith, and I'll say Metcalf. I'll lean away from Higgins for the moment. Quasi, choose 2 for the RB. Achan, Etienne, Pacheco, then choose 1 for the flex out of that group. Gotcha. I'd go Pacheco and Etienne as my start. I'd go Achan as my running back. Very simple. It'd be 3 running backs. Trump's cheeks. Rate my team, brother. 12-man, 3-pick. Richardson, Mixon, Kamara, Hill, Debo, Pitts, Aaron Jones, Falcons, and you got the Falcons kicker as well. I like that. Mitchell, Mooney, Moss. It's an okay team. I'm not loving it. You're a little weak at the running back position overall. I think that's going to hold you back. I love what you did at wide receiver. I love what you did at quarterback, but I don't love the running backs. I don't think you have a true RB1. I'm going to make it a high B, maybe a low B plus at its best. Appreciate the question. Ben Ortley, how's my 12-man PPR? Richardson, JT, Pacheco, Kupp, Amari Cooper, Ramondre Stevenson. It's a good team. You're a little overloaded on the Colts offense, though. Don't love that. I would say high B, low B plus for you as well. Silva, hope you're having a great day. Appreciate you being with us. Loudest, I know Metcalf's got a really tough matchup against Patrick Surtain the second, so I understand if you do want to go in another direction. Thoughts on Swift and Kamara for this week? Very high on Kamara. I think Swift will perform well. I think Kamara could have a very good week. Any MLB talk? Yep, we brought up some of the games that we like for today. Obviously, we like the Orioles on the money line, but if you like the Orioles, don't just take them on their own. Take a same-game parlay. Gunnar Henderson, over half a hit, or maybe over half a run. Anthony Santander, over half a hit, maybe over half an RBI. Ryan O'Hearn, the hitters who perform well against right-handed pitching, maybe throw them into some same-game parlays for the Orioles. Again, I think that the Marlins plus 1.5 is a strong play based on the trends. Nationals on the road after, let me throw up this trend for you so you can see it. When the Nationals are coming off an away win and they start a left-handed pitcher, they are 3-16 so far this year. 5-14 on the run line. So I like the Marlins to cover. Marlins plus 1.5 in this scenario when the Nationals are a favorite following an away win and they have a left-handed starter on the road, 0-3 straight up, 0-3 on the run line. If I expand that out, when they're a favorite following an away win, 0-3 straight up, 0-3 on the run line. So again, I like the Marlins to cover in this one. That's just a bit of a risky play. I do like the over, though. Over 7.5 if you're taking it. Let's get back to some fantasy football for the moment. Matthew, how do you feel about Christian Watson at the flex? Really like it. Really like it. B. Wheezy, rate my 12-man PPR. Kyler Murray, Kamara, Kyron, Nico, St. Brown, and Mark Andrews. Really strong starting lineup. Love it so far. It's a high B+, low A- for me based on the starting lineup. JP, Prescott or Purdy this week? Really tricky, actually. I'll lean towards Purdy because he's just got the more talented team, but obviously both are facing elite defenses. Carson, start Rice or DK? Start Rice. Rice would be the play for me. If you guys want to get in on some fantasy football conversation as a guest, we will be doing that. Let's actually jump on with Zach. Zach, let's see what T wants to talk about. Zach, what's good?
Yo.
How you living?
I'm living. I want you to rate my team for me.
Fire away.
10-man team, so I got Lamar at the QB. I got Kamara and Achan. I got Jettas, Puka, Pitts, and Godwin at the flex, or Aaron Jones. So that's like, football.
I really like the starting lineup. Don't love the backup running back situation. Aaron Jones could have some value for some weeks, but who else do you have at the running back position?
I got a couple handcuffs. I got J.K. Dobbins, Blake Corum. I also got Keon Coleman as a receiver. I got some younger guys.
Then you're good. I actually really like the strategy. I'd give the team overall a B+. But that said, I actually think you're in a good spot because as you kind of perfectly strategy put together, if you have a running back fall down, you'll probably you'll have the guy waiting in the wings who will at least get the production. May not be to the same level, but you're okay. Again, B plus is what I grade the team.
Yeah, I'm trying to get Achan out of there, maybe a better flex, but other than that...
I both agree with you, and at the same time, Achan's going to have his weeks. The only question with Achan is can he stay healthy? He's in a great offensive system. He's not going to get loaded boxes because you just can't with Tyreek Hill and Waddle on the outside, so he's going to get his chances. For me, it's just like if he stays healthy. If he stays healthy, he's a top 8 running back, but that's being very hopeful.
It's just his size, man. Just his size. All right, thanks for taking me. I don't want to take anyone's time up here, but yeah, I'll take it. Good luck this season.
Appreciate you watching the show. Hope you follow, bud.
Yep. 100%. See you.
Let's get to Two-Tone. We've got another caller on the line. If you want to call, just hit us up. More than happy to take people's calls live. Great hearing other voices. Two-Tone, what's good?
Hey, what's up, brother? How you doing?
Appreciate you, dude. You've been a loyal viewer of the show. Appreciate all the love.
Man, I got like 2 minutes right now because I'm at work, so I want you to rate my team real quick.
Get at it.
I'm in a 12-man PPR league, and I got Allen, Barkley, Chase Brown, Garrett Wilson, DJ Moore, McBride, and I flex. I have Amari Cooper. On my bench, I have Nick Chubb. I mean, I know he's injured, but he'll pick up. He'll come back maybe week 5, week 6. But yeah, what you think?
I think Chase Brown being your RB2 is a bad look right now. It may be a good move in week 7, week 8, later in the year, but for the first month of the year, I don't think he's reliable enough as an RB2. If you had him as a flex, it would be better. I think the team's really solid outside of that, but that's a major position. Your second running back, that's a lot of production there. So I think it's a high B, a low B plus. When you figure out the running back position, I think it's a really solid squad.
All right, cool, brother. I appreciate your time, man. Thank you.
See you later.
Thank you.
Okay, let's see what Austin wants to talk about. Austin's been a loyal viewer for a while. Let's see what Austin's up to. Austin, what's good?
What's up, my man? How are you?
Oh, loving life. Hope you're doing well.
Hey, we're doing all right. It's beautiful outside, but here, so a couple things really quick. Rate the squad real quick here. I got Anthony Richardson, Cooper Kupp, Michael Pittman Jr., Breece Hall, Devon Achane, David Njoku, Christian Kirk, and then JSN, because we're 2 flex league, 12-man PPR, and then I have the Jets defense.
Okay, you're a little overloaded on the Colts offense. Little overloaded there. I understand why. I'm not going to hate on it too much. I think probably it's a B plus right now.
Perfect. And then the next thing, what I was going to say, I know a couple weeks ago you were saying you're super high on Michael Pittman Jr.
I'm very high on the Colts offense, actually. So it's funny because on one level, I am saying you're kind of overloaded on that, and that kind of brings it down because you know how I feel about stacking in season-long fantasy. But I think Michael Pittman Jr. is going to break out. Maybe if for no other reason, he finally has a legit quarterback what I'm hoping is the whole year. So that's a big upside for him.
Right. And then thirdly, A-Chain. What do you think? Do you think he's going to split 50-50? Is he going to take it over? Does he stay healthy for the whole season? Does he miss 4 or 5 games?
I think it's going to be closer to a 60-40 split, especially early on in the year. If he can stay healthy, it's going to become a 70-30. I think that Mostert's still going to get a good amount of carries. Now, do I have any insight on that other than what I've been watching and seeing on TV along with the rest of the viewers? So I don't want to say like I've been at camp or I have any kind of insight. I just get the vibe that frankly, they don't want to burden that running back with too big a workload, in large part because he does have an injury history. So I think if he's able to stay healthy, he will get more opportunities. But early on, I think he's worth a start as an RB2. He's worth a start as a flex for sure. If he's your RB1, like, okay, but you're probably a team that's fighting for a playoff spot. So if he's your RB2, I don't have issue with it. I feel good about it.
Cool. All right, dude. I appreciate it, man.
All right, Austin. Have a great day. We'll see you soon.
Take care, brother.
Appreciate the callers. Let's just get to a few questions that are not callers real quick. Zach, not doing any leagues today. Sorry about it. South, should I start anyone on my bench over Kirk in the flex? Looking at your team really quick, because you did throw up your bench for me, I'd be curious about maybe considering Dobbs, but other than that, no. And the answer is I don't think I'd start Dobbs over Kirk. I just don't trust him enough, given the fact that he's not as high up in the depth chart as opposed to who you currently have in the lineup. with Christian Kirk. Brent, I bet this is what that you would do. Lamar Jackson over 24.5. I don't love the rushing yards for him. Anytime touchdown for Henry, I like. Hurts over 24.5 rushing. Probably, but I'm not betting that. Anthony, man, okay, I see where you're at. A number of these aren't bets that I actually like. So, sorry, Brent, not my favorite plays. Luca, start sit, Zay or JSN. Zay Flowers. Zay Flowers, and I'd start Kyler. It'd be Flowers and Kyler. I like Caleb, but I like Kyler a whole lot more. Dallas, should I trade Jamar Chase? If so, I'm okay if you trade him. Just make sure you're getting good value in exchange. 2 like B+ players, maybe 1 A-, 1 B player, but it needs to be on that kind of scale. Zach, Pacheco over 14.5 touches. It's interesting because I don't know if he'll get the touches, in part because I think they want to break in Samaje Perine. So I like his yardage more. I like an anytime touchdown more. I don't know about touches. Let's jump over to a phone call really quick. Let's see what Kay wants to talk about. Kay, what's good?
How are you?
How you living?
Pretty good. Can't complain. Ready to get this fantasy season started.
Let's go. How can we help you?
I just want to run through my lineup with you real quick, if you don't mind.
Go for it.
I have Kyler, ETN, Brees, Debo, Tank, Kincaid, Kurt. Jets is my drafted defense, but I put them on the bench because they're facing 49ers. I have streaming this week Seattle.
Okay.
Against a rookie quarterback at home. And I didn't really care about kicker so much, but I have Bucker as my kicker.
It's a really solid team. Who's your backup running back?
I have Etienne Hall as my starters. Backup, not all about my bench. Bench-wise, I was running down. I have Spears, Gus Edwards, running back-wise, and Khalil Herbert as well. My QB2 is Trevor Lawrence. I'm kind of hoping he has a resurgent year. As I already mentioned, I have the Jets defense on the bench for this week.
What I would say is you're an A- right now. You crushed the draft. You did a great job, even with a bad bench. You have a great lineup. Inevitably, there are going to be injuries, and that's where your team probably becomes a B+. So you're going to have to manage the waiver wire well over the course of the year because you've got a great starting lineup right now. If that team stays in mint condition all year, you're winning a title. If it stays 80% healthy, you're making the playoffs. But if you lose certain players at key positions, especially at running back, you're going to go from an elite team to battling for a wild card spot. So make sure you're managing the waiver wire and kind of always be looking at the running back position because any given week you may need somebody.
Absolutely. Well, I'm particularly I like having Spears. I know he's going to be in the timeshare with Pollard, but we've seen what he did last year, even in the Henry's touches. So I kind of want to keep my eye on that. Gus Edwards, J.K. Dobbins.
No. I understand the value in the players. I totally get what you did. My greater point is those are all risk plays too. So if those are risk plays, that still means you should be scouring the waiver wire. You know, there are some leagues where they have such depth at running back. It's almost like, okay, if one guy goes out, that's probably not where your need's still going to be. It may be at another position. You are so well positioned in your starting lineup, it's going to be a running back depth that you'll need to worry about this year.
I appreciate that. One other thing, and then I'll get off here so somebody else can take the call. I was kind of, if I had a weak point, my opinion was I would have thought wide receiver just because I don't have a true wide receiver one. Debo and Tank both.
But here's my thing. To that point, just think of it this way. Every week, if I told you this week that Mike Williams, new wide receiver of the Jets, had a massive week, 2 touchdowns, 85 yards, and turned into a fantasy stud, you'd go, oh, great week for him, but it's kind of believable, right? If I told you Antonio Gibson, backup running back of the New England Patriots, went for 2 touchdowns and 85 yards, you go, holy shit, really? No way. I think it's easier to find off the scrap heap wide receivers who become elite, if only for a week or two. At running back, it is so hard to predict that guy. You can think you predict them because you get Tyler Algier or somebody, but it's really hard to predict. And so I I don't mind your wide receivers being B+ in the starting lineup as long as there's depth. Where at running back, I'm glad you got the 2 elite guys because you'll figure it out in the bench through the waiver wire.
Well, this is my main. The reason I kind of viewed it as a weak point was just it's 2 offenses that have a lot of mouths to feed, so it's just kind of hard to really gauge how much they're going to get per week. And I kind of feel like I'd have to play with that more than.
You're totally right. It's a good point, and you know how I feel about like offenses that are like that, especially early in the year. You'll get a better sense of their value. May means you end up trading one of them over time. Anyways, Kay, I'm going to let you go and get someone else on, but great talking to you. Hit us back up throughout the season. Can't wait to talk to you about the team.
Will do. Take care.
Let's get to another caller. Let's go to George. George is going to be next on the line. If you're waiting to get on, just be patient. We'll definitely get to you. George, you're getting spinning wheel of death. George, we'll try again later. George, hit us up in a moment. Just see if that connection gets a little better. Let's try Keegan. Keegan's a real loyal viewer, so hopefully we can get him on. Keegan, what's good?
Yo, what's up, man?
How you living?
Pretty good. Can't complain.
Wonderful.
Got myself in a little bit of a pickle, though.
Let's help you out of it.
I ended up looking for a trade, land Saquon. It pushed through. I was under the impression I was going to be able to flip one of the guys afterwards. Other person backed out. So I'm now stuck with T. Higgins and Jamar at the same time, and I'm not in love with it, to be honest.
No, I would not be in love with it either. No, I actually think you got a one-way ticket to Shittown.
Yeah, that's me. I did get an offer for Rashad White and Christian Kirk to flip for Jamar Chase.
For Jamar Chase? No. No. If that was for T. Higgins, I'd be like, oh, that's a great trade. For Jamar Chase, I feel like you're not getting enough, in part because he's back. Like, so much has changed literally within the last, 8 hours. He was at practice today. All of a sudden, his value's back up. By the way, negatively hurts T. Higgins, which only intensifies your desire to get rid of one of them. I would get rid of T. Higgins. That's what I would do now. Like, the Jamar Chase thing to me is now going to be settled. Now that he's back, he's now the number one. Now it's T. Higgins who's the disgruntled wide receiver who wants to leave. So, if anything, I think Jamar Chase is going to be appeased, both in contract and in targets and production and everything else. I'd much rather bet on him this season. Trade T. Higgins. And therefore, maybe you trade T. Higgins for Rashad White, straight up. I actually think that's still a good deal in your favor. See if that, you can get that exchange. I think it's worth it there.
Yeah, I needed some reassurance for sure. I was kind of on the fence. This landslide got me just going down with the thoughts.
I totally understand, but the point, and make sure you hear this, I don't care if Joe Burrow returns to Super Bowl caliber form. I still don't want to be stacked on those 2 wide receivers because there's no way they can both be at that level. I just don't believe it, and I think most weeks one of them will ball out, and more likely than not, it's Chase.
Gotcha. Looking to ship.
By the way, tough division, too. Like, AFC North, they face an elite secondary every single week. So I definitely don't want to be overloaded on that passing offense outside of Jamar Chase.
Gotcha. Appreciate it, man.
Appreciate you, Keegan. Catch us later. I know you're a loyal listener, so I'll catch you later.
I'll be back.
Let's get another caller up on the line. Let's go to, let's see who this, they dropped. They came on, they dropped. Let's go to Ian. Ian's going to be our next caller. If you're waiting on the line, don't worry, we'll get to you fast. Ian, what's good?
How's it going, man?
How can we help you?
So I had a solid draft, and I think at least, and then after the draft, I made a trade that I thought at the time was good. Now I'm not too sure. Kind of just want to go over my life.
Let me talk you down from the ledge. What was the trade?
So I had great wide receiver depth. I traded away Kupp and Najee Harris. Najee was starting for me too, and I got Rice and Alvin Kamara.
What's wrong with? You won that trade. You won that trade. Oh, 100%. 100%.
Okay.
Ian, absolvote. You are fine, my son. You are safe. That was a good trade. I think you not only won the trade, I don't even think it's close. Wes doesn't think you won the trade. Repeat it one more time. Give it to me one more time in case I missed it.
So Cooper Kupp and Najee.
Yeah.
For Rice, and Alvin Kamara.
Yeah, I stand by my decision. Here's why. Cooper Kupp, no matter how productive he's going to be, the difference between him and Rice isn't that great. Rashee Rice is going to be wide receiver 1 on the Chiefs. Like, Kupp could be an all-pro, and I still don't think the stats are going to be that big a margin difference. The difference between Alvin Kamara and Najee Harris, to me, that margin's far greater. I'd much rather have the upgrade there. That's why I think you won. I don't think it's close, in part because I value running backs more. Rashee Rice could be at Cooper Kupp levels 8 weeks out of the season. Najee Harris probably won't be at Alvin Kamara levels more than 3 weeks out of the season. You know, like that kind of point exchange. So I definitely think you won the trade, Ian. Good job.
Thank you. I didn't feel so bad about it because I'm starting in that flex, not even wide receiver.
Then you're really in good shape, and now you have depth options because Najee Harris, you're telling me I'm getting a running back who's splitting carries with someone else with a quarterback situation that's a mess with Russell Wilson. Why would I want to invest in that offense? There's nothing about that opposing defenses, you know what they're going to do? They're going to load the box. They're going to say, let's take away the run and force Russell Wilson to beat us through the air. And I like Jalen Warren more. Jalen Warren to me seems like a more talented running back than Najee anyways. So all around, I like the deal, Ian. You're good.
Yep. I got Jalen Warren on the bench too, so it makes me feel better.
I like that you kept him. Yeah, you made the right move all the way around. Home run, Ian.
All right, thank you.
Have a good one, Ian. Appreciate it. Let's get another. We'll get to another caller in 1 second. Really quick, I want to get to some questions that are not on TikTok. Hori Karras, Keon Coleman, or Dunze for Week 1. Really tricky. I'll go Keon Coleman just because he's higher up on the depth chart, but I don't feel great about either one. Mahomes, Mixon, Mostert, Flowers, Metcalf, Kincaid, Stroud, Dallas, D. Loudest, love the team. Don't understand why people are doubling up on the quarterbacks. I think most weeks it's a wasted roster spot, but okay. Redbeard, pick 3. I'd go Puka Nacua, I'd go Olave, and I'd go Devontae Adams, I think. Debo might be odd man out against the New York Jets. Midwest Juice, Reed, Worthy, or Brian Thomas Jr. On this one, I'm going to lean towards Reed just slightly. I like his situation more with the Packers. Cotellis, should I trade Aaron Jones and Olave for Cooper and Jacobs? I'll say yes. I think you're upgrading enough at running back, but it's close. Dallas, Jamar Chase for Scary Terry and Pittman? Yes, I would. Bob Jeff Supreme, what wide receiver could I get for Smith and Higgins? A pretty good upgrade. I won't go into all the names. Joho, start Rice, Mixon, or Debo. It's close between Mixon and Rice, but I'll go with Rice. I think Rice is the slightly better play. Keegan is for Higgins. Is Keenan Allen worth it? I don't think he's good enough, actually, because I think they're either on par or Higgins might be slightly better. They're both wide receiver 2s on their depth chart. I think I like Higgins more, so ask for a little bit more. Would you rather have DK or Amari for the season? DK. This week, it's close. I don't think either one's a great start. Let's get to another caller. We'll go to Zay King. Zay King is going to be next up on the line. Let's see what Zay King wants to talk about. Spinning Wheel of Death. Will you let Zay King come on? Yo, Zay. I don't know, bro. It's not working. Try again. Maybe get a better connection. Let's see. Let's go to Dominic. Let's see if Dominic wants to... Dominic, what's good?
Hey, what's going on?
How you living?
I'm living good, man. Just
Oh, you got to stay on TikTok, bud.
oh shit. Okay, I was trying to look at my team. Okay. Oh man, I just drafted last night. So yeah, I was just wondering what you had to say about my team.
Yeah, fire away.
All right, so we got Jalen Hurts, Isaiah Pacheco, James Cook, Rashid Rice. Oh my God.
Don't stress it. It's a really solid start. Really solid team to start. Keep going.
Rashid Rice, who's my other receiver? I know I got Keon Coleman. Oh man.
We'll give him 1 quick second so he can check. Make sure when you guys are waiting to get on the line that you have your lineup ready. Dominic, finish it off for us.
Brandon Ayuk and T. Higgins.
Who's your tight end?
Trey McBride.
Oh.
And then, kicker and whatever.
Love this team. Love this team. This is a B-plus squad. Really like the starting lineup. Really like the team. We won't go into your bench just because it'll take a little bit of time and you're bouncing back and forth. But I think you drafted a really solid squad. Make sure you got depth at that running back position. Keon Coleman as a bench play is an interesting one. You know I like that. But Dominic, I think you did a good job.
Okay, awesome. And one more thing.
Yep.
I had New England's running back, their backup. I forgot his name. I can't think of
Antonio Gibson.
Antonio Gibson. I just dropped him for Taysom Hill. I feel like I need some depth.
100%. 100% the right move. 100%. Like it.
Okay.
Thumbs up.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
Yeah, of course. Make sure you follow. Okay, let's get to another caller, and then we'll take some more questions over on YouTube and Twitch. Tyler, start 2. I would start JT, and I would start Jacobs. I'd start JT and... Yeah, I'd start JT and Jacobs. Sorry, we had a guest and they hopped off. Let's try Mason. Oh, Mason, you keep dropping on me, bud. Sorry, you keep dropping on me. Let's go to Mark Gonzalez. Let's see what Mark Gonzalez wants to talk about. Mark, what's good?
What's up, buddy? How you doing?
I'm loving life. How can we help you today?
Yeah, I got a couple questions. First one, let me just jump over. Just did a draft last night, and I wanted to see what you thought about the starting lineup. So I got Jalen Hurts, Jamar Chase, Debo, Bijan, James Cook, Mark Andrews, and James Conner with Zay Flowers and Aaron Jones at the bench.
You're a little overloaded on the Ravens. I love your running back position. Little overloaded on Ravens receivers. It's okay, but hey, for every pass that Mark Andrews catches, Zay Flowers ain't getting shit. So just be aware of that.
Okay, and then let me just pull up. There we go. All right. One more question I had was, I have on one of my other leagues JSN at the flex this week for Denver, but I was debating between him and Keon Coleman.
Yeah, it's a good question. It's a good question. That's a tough one. Personally, I'm going to say JSN. And I'll give my reasoning. You can follow or you can fade it, but here's my rationale. 1, Keon Coleman's a rookie. I don't love betting on rookies week 1 unless it's like an established guy like a Marvin Harrison Jr., so I kind of want to see how he plays, even though he's got a favorable matchup against the Cardinals. JSN, not as good a matchup against the Broncos, but for me it's all about Patrick Surtain II. Arguably the best corner in the NFL. He's going to be covering DK. What does that do? It forces more targets in the direction of JSN. So I think JSN could actually have a better game. I'll go JSN on that.
Okay, just based purely off matchup with.
Right, they're both wide receiver 2s right now. I think Shakir is wide receiver 1 on the Bills, and Keon Coleman's wide receiver 2. Whether that's actually what's on the depth chart or not, I think that's actually how it is right now. So if they're both wide receiver 2s, they're both at getting kind of the same level of targets and expected production. Then it's about matchup, and I think JSN's matchup again more because I think DK's lack of production shifts the ability for. Shifts the likelihood that JSN has a good game.
Okay, and one more thing, sorry. Matt Stafford, I have him starting over Dak week 1.
100%. I think Stafford's going to have a really big game. Let's put it this way. He either is going to have an Aaron Rodgers night where he gets hurt and everyone's like, oh no, it happened in Detroit, or he's going to have a big game. I don't think there's... I love the pass rush that the Lions put together. I still think they're vulnerable in the secondary. I still think they're going to give up passing yards. And the fact that Puka is now healthy and back, I'll take Stafford. Again, back in Detroit, I just like a lot of points in that game. I think that's going to... I like the over. I like points. I like Goff. I like Stafford. I like offense. So I'm with you on that one. And by the way, Dak... With an offense that's already got some question marks around it going up against the Browns in Cleveland, I'll take Matt Stafford.
All right. Well, sounds like a plan. I appreciate you. As always, love the show, love supporting.
Appreciate you, and make sure you keep modding for us. I know sometimes I get feisty about pinning and unpinning comments, but you do a great job, and I really appreciate all you do to make the show go smooth.
Yep, no problem. Catch you later, bud.
Be good. All right, we're going to hit a couple comments on YouTube, Twitch, Kick, and on TikTok and Instagram. Then we're going to get back to callers. So we'll get back to callers in like 2 minutes, everybody. MK, Collins, Jacobs, or Rice? I'd go Rice. Eugene, pick 3. I'd go Rice. I'd go Garrett Wilson, Rice, and McLaurin. Garrett Wilson, Rice, and McLaurin, Eugene. Luca, DJ Moore. Luca Serpico, DJ Moore. Pedro Cerna, 12-man PPR, Richardson, Bijan, Pacheco, Evans, Pickens, Goddard, Ridley. How did I do for a 12-man? You did really well. I actually think this is a high B-plus team for a 12-man league. Don't love the tight end. I actually feel like Goddard may be the odd man out in Philadelphia, but other than that, this is a really solid squad. Dare to discover, should I trade CD for London and Josh Jacobs? It's an interesting, if you're really depleted at running back, the answer is yes, but for the most part, I'm not trading CD Lamb. Nuve DK, great to see you. Mark Andrews, Schultz, or Jonnu Smith for week 1. I'll say Mark Andrews. Tyler Ola, start 3. I would start Zay Flowers, I would start Jaden Reed, and I would start A.J. Brown. Brown, Flowers, and Reed. Creed Erickson. Rate my 12-man pick. Oh, I'm picking 4? Am I rating or am I picking 4? I'm confused. Rewrite the question. JP, who do you got for Thursday Night Football? I have the Chiefs winning. I have Ravens plus 4.5. Chiefs on the money line. Ravens plus 4.5. Creed Erickson, Lamb, Etienne, White, Godwin. You're a little overloaded on the Bucs offense. I don't love that. That said, obviously I love Lamb. I love Etienne. You got questions at running back though. Well, with White, no, it's a solid team. I'm going to give it a B+, a little overloaded on the Bucs offense for me. Fotana, Dak, Lamb, overloaded on the Cowboys offense, but you got the right to if you're picking any two. Love that you got Bijan and Pacheco. Frankly, this team's saved by your running backs. Bijan, Pacheco, Etienne, and you have Lamb. It's an A- team. I don't know how you got so good a team. Smith and Higgins for Marvin Harrison Jr. If you're getting Marvin Harrison Jr., I do like it, Bob Jeff Supreme. Let's get back to some questions. Keegan, let's not pin any comments right now. Let's give everyone the chance to get in here. Brendan Foley, start Godwin or Kirk. I'm going to lean just slightly towards Godwin. MPO, drop 1 for D. Wicks. Hill, Wilson, B. Allen. I'll go Michael Wilson. Should I start Burrow or Caleb Williams week 1? I'm going to say start Joe Burrow if Jamar Chase is back, and it sounds like he will be. Let's get back to another phone call. Let's go to Shelly. Shelly's going to be the next caller on the line. Shelly, what's good?
Hey, so speaking of Jamar Chase, I'm kind of stuck. On my team I have, my starting is Chase and Garrett Wilson. But I'm stuck because if Jamar Chase doesn't play...
He's going to play. What today was really about is letting everyone know he's going to play. I don't know if he's going to get the contract. I don't know if he's going to play this season without it. That wasn't solved today. But by Jamar Chase showing up to practice in uniform and participating, it is the sign that he's going to at least be in uniform on Sunday. How many snaps he plays, how many catches he has, still got to wait and see. But today, what was it really about? It was about letting everyone know in the football world that Jamar Chase is going to be there on Sunday. That's what it really was.
So my question is, do I start him then? Absolutely.
Right now, I'd say 80% yes, 20% no. Who do you have that you could play in his place?
I have Tyler Lockett.
No.
I have Tyler Lockett. Adam Thielen's available, but...
No. The answer is you're going to be starting Jamar Chase because you don't have a better substitute. That's what it's really going to be. Because 80% or 75% of Jamar Chase is probably still better than 100% of Adam Thielen or Tyler Lockett. And I only say that about Tyler Lockett because I think he's going to be competing with JSN for that wide receiver 2 spot on the depth chart. So that's where I come out, Shelly.
Okay, I got one more question for you.
Sure.
So I'm a little thin at running back, but in 4 weeks, Nick Chubb comes back. So right now I have, for my running backs, I have Rachaad White, James Conner, Raheem Mostert, and Nick Chubb.
You're gonna be fine. Again, I'm gonna break it to you, Shelly, lightly, but I think you already know this. You're not a championship caliber roster right now. You could become a winning team over the season, but you're gonna have to mix and match. You're gonna have to really manage your team. I actually think your running back position's okay. You're just gonna have to really manage week to week who's the best option. You have a running back by committee kind of situation. You'll be okay if you manage it correctly, but you could also blow things up if you manage it poorly. So it really is going to be on you.
So I also have one other thing. Trade value wise, I got this as trade bait. I got Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen.
I would trade Josh Allen, and yes, I would use him as trade bait, probably to upgrade. I would trade Josh Allen and one of those running backs to try to upgrade to someone who's a more like solid, probably like a low. I don't think you're going to get an RB1, but like, could you get Kamara? Could you get? You could get Achan maybe. You already have Rachaad White, so.
And I have Mostert.
Yeah, but I'd like to upgrade from Mostert. Or you could keep Mostert, but you're then having Achan, so at least you're guaranteed to have the number 1 running back on the Dolphins. That could be a move that I actually like.
So okay, so you think I keep Lamar then?
Keep Lamar, trade Josh Allen with one of those like lesser running backs, and try to, obviously not Mostert if you're going to handcuff it, but and try to upgrade maybe at that position.
Okay.
Okay?
Well, thank you. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you. Make sure you hit that follow button.
One other thing to tell you.
Yeah, sure.
So on the 27th of October, I'm going to Jacksonville to watch Green Bay play.
Super cool, dude. Take some photos and send them to us.
I did. Did you see the ones I did from Charlotte?
I remember that. I remember that. It made me smile. Definitely was a great thing. I love seeing fans of our show end up actually going to games as opposed to just watching Red Zone.
All right. Well, thank you, sir.
Have a great day, buddy. Let's get to a couple questions, then we'll get back to a few callers. Boom Fantasy, Cup for Garrett Wilson. Yes, I'd rather have Wilson. Faux Tana, start Waddle, Rice, or Smith. I would starting 2 of them. I would start Rice and Smith. Hi, I'm Toby. Would you trade Taylor and Goddard for Cook, Kincaid, and Waddle? Yes, I would, actually. Yes, I would. Jeremiah, start 2. I would start Cooper Kupp, and I would start Rashee Rice. Rice and Kupp. Rice in your cup. Cooper or Montgomery as a flex? Tough one. I might lean slightly towards David Montgomery, but it's close. I don't know if I like that. Jacob Spear, if Jamar sits, who do you think steps up more, Irwin or that rookie? I think he's going to play, so I think it's a moot point. Cotellis, updated trade. Should I trade Jones and Olave for Jacobs and Metcalf? Yes, I would. JP, Stafford over Purdy and Prescott? Yes, JP, absolutely. Few more questions before another caller. DBZ content, Matthew Stafford. DBZ content, I'd go Matthew Stafford. Luca, I'd go DJ Moore. Mac, I'd go Rashee Rice, and I'd go Waddle. I'd go Waddle and Rice. Danny, how you doing today? Just traded Pickens and Connor for McLaurin and Stevenson. I think you upgraded at wide receiver enough. I don't know if you It's a fair trade. I'll say it's fair. I don't know if you won it, but it's a fair deal. Renee, Browns or Bengals defense week 1? Bengals. They're playing the New England Patriots. Bengals are going to be the best defense this week by default. Devin, Mostert or Swift? I'll say Swift for the moment, just because I know he's the running back 1. I'll say Swift for the moment, Devin Durant. Pedro, who would you start? Flex, Ridley, Zamir White, Robinson, JSN. I'll say Zamir White. It's close between him and Ridley. On the fence. Jordan McLennan over on Instagram got offered Hill for Lamar and A.J. Brown. But that's too much, right? It's more of a fair trade than I think, but it's not quite fair enough, though. I still wouldn't do it. It's close, but not quite. Jorge Karras, not sure if you saw my question. I was MIA for a second. Throw it back up there, Jorge Karras. Devin Durant, Scary Terry or Mostert? Scary Terry. Terry McLaurin's going to have a great game. Ethan, Pollard, or Warren? I'll go Jalen Warren. Jalen Warren right now. The Citizen, is Jamar Chase going to play? Yes, I believe he will. Jude, Ayuk or Pickens? I'd go Ayuk. Both have tough matchups. I trust Ayuk's quarterback more. Bob Jeff Supreme, Smith and Higgins for ETN? Yes, Bob Jeff Supreme. Joho 04, start 4. I would go Rice and I'd go Mixon, believe it or not. Rice and Mixon. Jonathan Santiago, bench 1. I'll bench Ayuk for this week, just given who you have. I bench Ayuk for this week. I understand the Hurts, Smith, and the stacking issue, but I don't like Ayuk's matchup, obviously going up against Sauce Gardner. Enrique, 10-man PPR, Kyler Murray, Etienne, Williams, Montgomery, Jefferson, Nico Collins, Moore, Laporta. You're a little overloaded on the Lions offense, but other than that, I really like this team. High B+, Enrique. Ramiro, Jacobs or Walker? I'd go Kenneth Walker. Boom Fantasy, Jefferson, Coleman for Garrett Wilson, Puka, and Mostert. If you're getting the Wilson, Puka, and Mostert side, yes. Ant Can, 111. Pacheco over 2.5 receptions. I think that's actually a really good play. I haven't done research on it, but Ant Can, I like it at first blush. Jorge Karras, I'd go Keenan Allen. I'd go Keon Coleman over Adunze just barely. Don't love it, but I'd go Keon Coleman just barely. Let's go to a caller. Let's go to Jake. Let's see what Jake wants to talk about. Jake, what's good?
Yo.
How you living?
So I just want you to rate my team real quick.
Go for it.
PPR, 1 flex. I've got Kyler Murray, Bijan, Rashad White, Marvin Harrison, DK Metcalf, Kincaid, and DeVonta Smith at flex.
You're a little overloaded on the Arizona offense. You know that, but frankly, it's okay. I'm not overly concerned about it. Starting lineup is loaded. Just love the team. Like, at first blush, it's a B+. I'd be curious to know what your bench is. If your bench is deep, I would say it's an A-.
My receivers are pretty deep. My running backs are kind of thin. I have Tank Dell, Brian Thomas, Tyler Lockett, Jameson Williams, Jaden Daniels on my bench, and then my running backs are just handcuffs. I have Algier and Bucky Irving.
I actually really like Algier. I think he's going to actually he to me is kind of like, he's like a poor man's David Montgomery. Like, he may not get as much value, but he's going to get his carries. They don't want to wear out Bijan, and especially in like red zone power back situations, like, he'll get the opportunity. So I actually like that. I still say you're a B+. If your running backs stay healthy all season long, you're A-. If Bijan is the number 1 running back, you can win a championship. But like, right now, I'll give it a B+.
Okay, and just one more question.
Yep.
About the Arizona offense, do you like the Kyler and Marvin stack?
The answer is yes. I'm not huge on stacking play. If you watch the show consistently, I'm not huge on stacking players for season long.
Long-time watcher.
Oh, I really appreciate that. But what I would say is there's certain exceptions. Here's a perfect one. I'm not going to be like, oh, don't have Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. You know, like, that's and you know what? You're kind of in that situation. Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to get a ton of targets. Kyler Murray, the benefit of him is his legs. So whether he's passing to your guy or Trey McBride, or he's running around, he's going to get plenty of points. So it's there are certain weeks where, like, yes, you'll want to start Marvin Harrison Jr. and maybe sit Kyler Murray because the defense there, when they play the 49ers, perfect example. Maybe you start Marvin Harrison Jr., but you play a different quarterback. As long as you have Jaden Daniels, as long as those matchups work in your favor, you should be fine.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate you viewing the show all the time. And Jake, I hope you continue to come back so we can answer questions. We'll get to a caller in a moment. Parker Bledsoe, Sutton Smith, or Flowers for week 1. I'll lean just slightly towards Smith. Jude, start Jets defense. I'm okay starting the Jets defense this week, believe it or not. Jonathan Santiago, flex 1. I'd go Christian Watson. Flex 1 for Christian Watson. Jason, are you giving me your number? I appreciate that, but Sam, Rashad White or Montgomery for week 1? I'll go Rashad White just because he's not going to be splitting carries. Mark, should I start Javonte, Kyron Williams, or David Montgomery? Oh, I'm starting 2. I would start Kyron, and I would start I'd start Kyron and probably David Montgomery. It's so close for me between Javonte and David Montgomery. Kyron's a no-brainer, but by the way, a note for all of those people that were concerned about Kyron Williams being the punt returner for the Rams. You know who their kick returner is? Blake Corum. This is what Sean McVay does. He uses his running backs in special teams roles because he figures that's the most talented player with the ball in their hands. So I feel very good about Kyron Williams. Any concern that anyone had earlier this week, because he's going to be on special teams, should be completely eliminated, should be evaporated, should go away. We are big on Kyron Williams. I say that now. The Citizen, who to start at running back, Walker, Ford, Montgomery, or Barkley? Pick 2. I would start Barkley, and I would start Walker. Barkley and Walker. Jude, I love it, buddy. Let's get to a few more questions, then we'll get to another caller or two. Jad, J-A-D, thoughts on my 10-man. Pacheco, Holmes, Kyron, Nico, Olave, Bowers, and Neighbors. Little overloaded on the Chiefs, but given it's their quarterback and their running back, no problem with it. It's a B-plus lineup for me. D. Turner, Lamar Jackson, or Jalen Hurts. For this week, I'm going to lean towards Jalen Hurts. I believe in the Eagles. I think they're going to win. I think if nothing else, the arrival of Derrick Henry may take away a little bit from Lamar Jackson. Keep in mind, they're also replacing 2 coordinators. So I'll go Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts also having a new coordinator, but I think his coordinator is going to work in his favor. Let's take a phone call. Is it Hoeing? Hoeing Fitness. What's good, Hoeing?
Hey, I just had a question about my team.
Fire away.
To rate my team. So I'm in a 10-man. We did a 2 flex and an extra offensive player, but no kicker.
Go for it.
My team is, I got Caleb Williams, Jahmyr Gibbs, Stevenson, Chase, Nico, Kelsey, Rice, DJ Moore, and Tua is in my lineup. And I got the Seahawks defense this week.
How big's the league?
10-man.
All right. I think the team is a B. If it were a 12-man league, I'd give it a B+. I don't think it's good enough. I think you're a little overloaded on the Chiefs' offense. I think that your running back... Give me your running backs again. Pacheco and who?
Gibbs and Stevenson.
Yeah, see, I'm not big on Stevenson as an RB2. Patriots' offensive line is bad. Maybe as a flex play. I think there are only a few weeks he's going to be a good RB2 play. Right now, I think you're battling to get into the playoffs.
Okay. Yeah, it didn't help I was the 10 pick, too. So.
Yeah, I think you were in a tough spot, and I think what hurt you is you drafted Chase.
Yeah.
And you valued your wide receiver more than I would have. I would have valued the running back because you were in that 10 spot. And I think that's what ended up backfiring on you. By the way, it's a long season. Players get hurt. Waiver wire moves happen. You can build a championship team. So I don't want to over discourage you. But if I'm not honest with you and I make it all sunshines and rainbows, you won't take my word. You won't believe me. So I want to give you the truth, and so I'm going to shoot you straight.
Sounds good.
Appreciate you watching the show. Hope the reality dose doesn't keep you from watching the show.
Thank you.
I love talking to you guys. I hope you guys enjoy it. Let's check out Eugene, who's been a top 5 viewer. Gotta show love to Eugene if you're being showing love with gifts and everything else. Eugene, what's good?
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
Oh, love and life. How can we help you?
Yeah, I just wanted you to rate my starting lineup real quick.
Go for it.
I got Jaden Daniels, Pacheco, Mixon, Garrett Wilson, Ayuk, Jake Ferguson, Rashee Rice in the flex, Jake Elliott, and the Lions D.
Lions defense is interesting. It wasn't a team I necessarily would think of being a good play. There are going to be some weeks where they do play well, though. This week I wouldn't play them. Heads up, this week I would not start them. I think they're going to give up a lot of points. Just a thought.
Okay. Because this was a 12-man, and I picked at 11.
Yeah, I got you. I still think week to week you'll be able to figure out the defensive situation. So I don't discount because of that. Give me your running backs one more time, both starters and bench.
It was Pacheco, Mixon, and then on the bench I have Chuba Hubbard, Tyler Algier, and Jordan Mason.
Interesting. Because it's a 12-man, I think this is a B-plus squad. I think it's I love the running backs you have in the starting lineup. Your bench is a big mystery to me. I'll give it a B+, but this is a team where, it could go either direction. This team could perform really well, or it could absolutely implode and then just totally go off the rails. So, kind of split decision on this one.
Yeah, my two bench receivers is Brian Thomas and Curtis Samuel.
I'm not as big on Curtis Samuel as I probably should be. I should probably recalibrate now that Jahan Dotson's gone. But yeah, I'm still giving it a high B, low B+.
All right. And one last question.
Yep.
Should I start Jaden Daniels or Trevor Lawrence this week?
Okay, I'm going to say Trevor Lawrence, but here's the only reason why. I don't really trust rookie quarterbacks week one. They have a tendency to underwhelm. There are few exceptions to that, like Cam Newton, who came in his first week as a rookie and threw 4 touchdowns and ran for 2, and that does happen. I just want to see Jaden Daniels for a week. The Jaguars' offense is good enough. The Dolphins' defense isn't good enough. I'll go Trevor Lawrence, but I'm not going to say that's a lock it in every week. I think that's just this week.
All right.
Appreciate it, bud. Hope you have a great day, Eugene.
Yes, sir. You too.
Appreciate all of you who are watching the show. Just do it over on Instagram. Who's the Bears' #1 wide receiver? I think it's a clear-cut DJ Moore, and I don't think there's much doubt about it. Jonathan Santiago, 3 wide receivers, 10-man PPR. Stroud, Wilson, Adams, Ayuk, Gibbs, Javonte, McBride, Watson, Worthy, and Brian Robinson. I really like the wide receivers, especially even the bench wide receivers. This is a solid team overall. Running back, a little bit of question there. I give it a high B+, but I think it is a really good team. Black men don't cheat. He hopped off. Okay, if he wants to come back on. Let's go to user 1372. User 1372 is going to be our next caller. User 1372, what's good?
Yo, can you rate my team, my 10-man?
Let's go for it.
All right, so I got Dak, Derrick Henry, Jonathan Taylor, Marvin Harrison, Lamb, Kittle, and then I got the flex at Worthy. But I'm thinking about trading Lamb for Hall in London.
If you can pull that off, do it immediately. I love the team. Is this a 10-man league or an 8-man league?
The 10, and I had to pick one.
Okay, that explains it. I was about to be like, man, this team is really good. Either the people in his league suck, or he just had things work his way. If you can flip CeeDee Lamb for Hall and London, do it because
I got offered it. It's on the thing.
Oh my God, you have Marvin Harrison Jr. too, right?
Yeah.
You're loaded. I would absolutely do that deal. I'd rather have the #1 running back than the #1 wide receiver. I think it's a no-brainer. I would do that deal. And I love the team. It's an A- team and somehow could even get better with the trade.
All right, that's it. Thank you.
And by the way, user 1372, I'm going to put this pressure on you. If you lose this year, it's because you're a bad manager. You're a great drafter and a bad manager because you should win the league this year, buddy.
All right, thank you.
Get at it.
Have a good one.
Appreciate you watching the show. Let's get another caller on the line. Dylan has been waiting patiently. Dylan, loyal viewer. Let's check on Dylan. Dylan, be chillin'. What's good?
What's going on, buddy?
How can we help you today?
All right, so aside from the running back fiasco, I'm trying to figure out a flex start for this week. Right now, I've got Brandon Ayuk in that position, but I've been kind of questioning since they're going up against the Jets.
Yep.
They're most likely going to put Sauce on him. My other choices were Brian Thomas Jr. and also have Javonte Williams as well.
Oof. It's close. I think I still lean towards Ayuk, maybe barely over Javonte, but it's close. It's very close. I understand the concern. Maybe okay, you could talk me into Javonte because I trust the running back position a little bit more, but it's very close. I think it's a coin flip.
Yeah, because the only reason I'm having doubts with Ayuk is because of his past games when they played the Jets.
Well, because he's going up against great defense and he hasn't been practicing. So, no, there's reason to be concerned about Ayuk. I don't think it's not warranted. I think I'd go Javonte. If you're having the concern, I would absolutely go Javonte, because if you don't trust Ayuk, don't go through with it. Just be aware, Javonte probably has a lower ceiling than Ayuk would have, but probably has a similar floor.
Right. And then on defense, do you like the Vikings versus the Giants or the Steelers with their game?
Do I like the Vikings versus the Giants? No, but how many points could the Giants offense possibly put up?
And Daniel Jones is still a dumpster fire.
You just had to say Daniel Jones, and that was enough. You didn't have to say anything other than that. No. I live in New York. I'm very aware there's currently smoke coming from Jersey, and we know it's because he's a dumpster fire. So that's not the question. The question to me is, do I like the Steelers' defense enough? And the answer is yes. I still think I'd go Steelers. I still trust the Steelers more, and here's the reason why. It's about how many turnovers can be generated. Daniel Jones will throw one. Kirk Cousins will throw it one. It's a toss-up. It's super close for me. I don't really want to pick it because I don't feel like there's the right answer. I feel like it's two wrong answers. You're probably right to bet against Daniel Jones, but the Steelers have a loaded defense. A loaded defense. And who do the Vikings have? They don't have Daniil. They got Stephon Gilmore. That's it. They don't even have anybody. I don't know. I'm on the fence. You got me there. You stumped me, Dylan.
Yeah, I was looking at offense wise just because.
Oh no, I get it. No. You're fading the Giants, and that's how you're making a pick. I totally get it. And you're right. I'd rather go up against the Giants' offense than the Falcons' offense. If you're doing it off of that, yes. I think I'd rather pick the more talented defense, but it's 6 to 1, half dozen or the other.
Right. All right. Well, that was my two questions. I appreciate it.
We'll catch you later, Dylan. Have a good one.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Let's go to, let's see, Black Men Don't Cheat. Let's see if he hangs on the line this time. Black Men Don't Cheat, what's good?
All right, so cool. I got a question, right?
By the way, I'm really hoping you're Asian. But anyway. With a handle like that, I was just hoping you were just a hating Asian. Anyways, go ahead, bud.
Nah, I'm black. So look, I don't pick 2 extra quarterbacks, right? And I'm thinking about trading one away. I got Goff, Dak, and Mahomes.
Trade Dak. It's a no-brainer. Mahomes is going to be an MVP candidate this year. And Jared Goff, look out. I'm saying this to everyone on the stream, not just Black Men Don't Cheat. Jared Goff has 3 games this year outside of a dome. 3 games, that's it. If you look at his career splits when he plays in a dome versus outside, it is crazy how good he is inside a dome. He is among the most elite quarterbacks. For him to be your backup to Mahomes, you are loaded. This week, perfect example. I would rather play Jared Goff this week. As good as Mahomes may play, I actually think Jared Goff's going to have a monster Sunday night. I would absolutely have those two. I would ship Dak off. Dak, the Cowboys offense has a lot of question marks. I'd much rather keep Goff.
Okay, cool. Quick, one more question.
Go for it.
Team real quick. Right, so we're in a 10-man, 2-flex PPR league, right? My quarterback is Mahomes, running back Montgomery, and who's it, Montgomery? I forgot the other round. We're going to skip that. Montgomery, my receivers, I have, you know what? I can't even remember. I got a Doomsday, somebody else. I can't remember. I'm going to hop off.
Appreciate you, dude. You're all good. Come back anytime. All good. I appreciate that he didn't waste time. That he was just like, yeah, I don't remember. I'll let someone back on. Nico, let's go to Nico Mitchell. Let's see what Nico wants to talk about. Nico, what's good?
What's going on, man? I want you to.
You gotta stay on. You gotta stay on TikTok. Only thing. Once you leave, you pause.
My 10-man PPR team.
Fire away.
I got Dak Prescott, Joe Mixon, Rashad White, Garrett Wilson, Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle, and then I can tell you my bench if you need to.
Who's your tight end?
Oh, Laporta.
Okay, I love Laporta. I like your wide receivers. Your running backs are like, okay. Right now the team.
Thinking more if they play good throughout the season, it's like a championship team. If those guys do good for me.
I totally understand, but they would have to. I feel like they would have to outperform their ceiling right now. I think you're asking a little bit too much of them. So what I would say is this is a playoff team right now. Very solid playoff team. I think it's a solid B+, but maybe sliding more towards a B. Because if you don't get enough production from those running backs, great, you make the playoffs, but you're going to be going up against the teams that have the RB1s of, like, the elite RB1s. So I would play the waiver wire intensely, or I consider a trade. What'd you say, Nico?
If you was me and you had a chance to trade, what guy would you try trading off the team first?
Give me the wide receivers one more time.
I got Chase and Wilson. Garrett Wilson.
And Waddle, right?
Yeah, and Waddle.
Right. I would trade Waddle, package Waddle with one of the running backs, and try to really upgrade.
Okay.
Could you get a Kamara? Yes, you can get Kamara. Could you get Pacheco? I think so.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. That's a big leap for you to go from. Personally, I like Mixon and Montgomery as touchdown guys. Every week, if they get a touchdown, you're good. They hit their quota. That's what you're banking on, is every week those guys get a touchdown. If they don't get a touchdown, they're really not giving enough value in the yards they pick up. That's the issue you have.
Okay.
Get what I'm going for, Nico?
We're going.
You good?
Yep, that was perfect. Thanks.
All right, catch you later, bud. Let's get another caller on Band Showman. Band Showman, I think's the name. Let's see what he wants to talk about. Band Showman? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
What's good?
What's up? I'm in a 12-man PPR. And my team is looking like Brock Purdy, Kamara, Zamir White, Evans, Garrett Wilson, Njoku for a tight end, and Cooper for a flex.
This is a 12-man?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to give you a little bit of a break on the grade because it's a 12-man. I'll give it a low B+. But I would absolutely warn you, this is the kind of team that may not be good enough to go deep into the playoffs. You're really solid. Like, this is a really solid team. If you were building an actual roster, I'd be like, that's a very good team. But you don't have enough, like, what I would call week winners. Guys who can win you the week on their own, who can just have a massive performance. You're kind of lacking there. You have a lot of guys who have a high floor, low ceiling. That's going to be your battle all year. If everybody produces to their floor level, you may still lose because you're going to face teams where their one running back goes off for 35 points and you can't match that. So it's a really solid team. I don't know if it's good enough in what it can produce when, again, you face those juggernaut opponents.
Got you. Who would you recommend, like, I trade for anybody else?
Here's the thing I would say. I don't know who I would trade because I don't know what you value necessarily. Like, I would trade Amari Cooper plus something else and probably try to upgrade at running back. I want to find at least one breaker, one week winner, one guy who could do that. And given who you have, you could package two players from your roster and put them together and probably get that kind of value in return. So I would spend the next 24, 48, 36 hours trying to work some trades. By the way, and if you don't get it, I think you'll win. I think you'll make the playoffs. I just don't know if you'll get deep enough once you hit like the final four.
Got you.
All good?
And I appreciate you. Yep.
Make sure you hit that follow button, bud. Can't wait to talk throughout the season.
Got you.
Appreciate you guys watching the show. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button on TikTok. We do subscriber-only shows almost every night, usually around 10 o'clock. So if you want to ask multiple questions, if, by the way, you can't come on live to talk on the air, but you want to ask multiple questions, you can subscribe. We do a show live every day. We do a show Monday through Friday at 4:30 every single day. Monday through Friday, I should say, every weekday at 4:30 Eastern Time. We also do a show on Sunday mornings. This Sunday morning, we will be live at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. up until 1 p.m. kickoff. So you're going to get a lot of Butt Fumble Sports. You're going to get us live Monday through Friday at 4:30. You're going to get subscriber-only shows almost every night at 10 p.m. You're going to get us on the weekend. Saturday, I'll jump on randomly, and then Sunday morning for a pregame show. So if you love the content, hit the follow button. If you love getting your questions answered, subscribe on TikTok. Make sure you're a member of this great community. Let's take a few more questions. We'll take another caller or two as well. Cook, rate my second 10-man team. Richardson, Saquon, Bijan, Evans, Neighbors, Flowers, Laporta. Love the team. The running backs do it for me. That's an A- squad. Dog, who would you start at flex? PPR, Connor, Nico, Neighbors, Najee. I'm already starting Kyler and McBride. Yeah, that's too bad. I'd probably say Nico Collins then, but it's close between him and Neighbors. Cameron B, 12-team PPR. Chase, Gibbs, Jacobs, Mahomes, Kincaid, Deontay, Odunze, Worthy, Pollard, Hopkins, Chuba, and Jamison Williams. Love the team. Love the starting running backs. Really love the tight end. Wide receiver, you'll figure that out. I think obviously Worthy is going to play a big role for you early on. I'll give it a high B+, Cameron B. Good job. In the 9 spot, not easy to draft there. Let's get to another caller. I got Tristap 12. I know you've been patient and loyal on it, so let's see what you want to talk about. Tristap, what's good?
Yo, what's up, man?
How can we help you?
Okay, so basically, I'm in a bit of a pickle here.
Mm-hmm.
So, with my draft, I had a pretty good receiving core in my draft. I had Jay Jettis fall to me at the 6. And then I also picked up Nakua, Adams, and Rashee Rice in later rounds after that. So, I'm thinking about moving one of them for sure, because I do need a running back. And I'm not sure exactly which one I need to move.
I mean, I feel like it's Adams or it's Jefferson, funny enough. And it sounds like you're really big on Jefferson, so you don't trade him. But both have a similar problem. They have bad quarterbacks. They've got quarterbacks they don't really want to invest in for the season. So I would flip one of them. Jefferson's the bigger brand and probably gets a better return. That's why I mention him. But since he was your first overall pick, I wouldn't have picked him at 6. I get the vibe that you like him. So if you like him, keep him. Trade Adams.
Okay. And also, for this week, should I start Adams or Rice as my flex?
It's a really tricky one. Right now, between those two, I might start Adams, actually, because I do think it's a decent matchup against the Chargers. I don't love saying that, because, again, I'd rather bet on Patrick Mahomes than Gardner Minshew. But I'll lean just slightly towards Adams for this week.
All right, perfect.
Appreciate you. Let's get another caller up here. And the next one's going to be Real Tyler Kent, because we don't talk to the fake Tyler Kent. We only talk to the real Tyler Kent. Tyler Kent, what's good?
Only the real deal.
Only the real stuff. We want authentic Tyler Kent. How's it going, bud?
None of that fake stuff. What's
That's
up,
right.
man? Hey, it's a 2 running back team. And I've got Jonathan Taylor and Bijan at my 2 running backs. I'm not sold on Bijan, though. I'm trying to trade him.
By the way, it's Bijan. It's not like the mustard. It's Bijan.
Exactly. No, I'm saying it that way on purpose.
Oh, okay. I was actually like,
Thank you.
man, the real Tyler Kent's a kick up. I gotta say that.
I'm keeping it real for you. But I'm not sold on him. I'm not believing the hype on it.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
thinking it's kind of like Austin Eckler a couple years back or whatever. Who's a good trade I could do? I tried to get Kyron, and that guy denied me. Who's another guy I could try to go after?
Wow. First of all, I'm shocked you feel that way. I'm super high on the kid. I think he's going to have a massive year. I think he'll finish as a top 5, if not a top 3 running back. 2, I'm shocked the person who had Kyron wouldn't give him up. Clearly that guy's got a man crush on Kyron because he gave up a good deal. That said, if you do want to move on from him, I talked to the guy who has Breece Hall. He'll probably turn you down. That's fine. I talked to the guy who has Jahmyr Gibbs, and I'd ask for Jahmyr Gibbs plus a throw-in. Plus like the last wide receiver on his bench or something.
I just feel like I'm not too sold on Breece Hall and his numbers from last year, a guy who rushed less than 1,000 yards.
Dude, you are tough, dude. Like, here's my question. Who are you believing in this year at running back?
I was sold on Kyron, and that guy didn't want to give it to me.
Okay, I'll give you that. But those are 3 of my top 5. So give me one other running back you're really high on. Jonathan Taylor?
Yeah, who I have already.
So, first of all, the fact that you have Jonathan Taylor and Bijan, I don't know why you want to break this up. Listen, Yoko, you've got a great thing going here, and I would not destroy this team unnecessarily. I think you've got all the makings of a championship squad, and the fact that you have 2 top 5, in my estimate, top 6 running backs, breaking that up right now, I think you'll look back on it and regret it. Now, if you went and you got, a Jahmyr Gibbs plus somebody else at wide receiver, or you upgraded another position, but I don't know. It sounds like you've got as good a squad as you could ask for, and you're like, it's not enough.
Yeah, I don't want to take up too much more time, but I was thinking Jamar Chase might be someone would be willing to do that because of his contract.
But I think you're
My
down.
receivers are Mike Evans, Cooper, and Cooper Kupp. I'm sorry, Cooper Kupp, Amari Cooper, and Mike Evans. Those are my 3 receivers.
I get what you're talking about. I get it now. I now understand. I understand the issue. Okay, what I would still do is Bijan has enormous value, and just because for whatever reason you hate him does not mean that he is not valued in the league. So let's go to the negotiating table acting like we've got the most valuable asset, and let's screw with some people. I really would believe that like Marvin Harrison Jr. could be someone you could get for him. Maybe someone else would have to throw something in on top of that. So like Marvin Harrison Jr. plus Chase Brown or plus somebody, a backup running back. It sounds like that's what you're leaning towards. I'm not as big on Jamar Chase. You could do that. I think it's fine, but I still think you're probably losing a little bit of value. And if you asked for Jamar Chase plus another player, I think the trade will be rejected. So I think you kind of need to walk that middle ground of like, I need to ask for a really good receiver, but not good enough where they reject it. But if it's not good enough receiver, I should ask for another player. So it's, yeah.
Love it.
It's kind of a guess and check.
I appreciate it. Love your stuff. Love your content. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you watching the show. Continue to.
Keeping it real for you.
I like that guy. He's good. Let's go to Newbie Ticky. Newbie Ticky's going to be the next caller. Newbie Ticky, what's good?
Hey, how's it going?
How you living?
So I got a 10-man half PPR league.
Mm-hmm.
And we got 2 flex spots, which are wide receiver, running back, and tight ends. So I got Jordan Love at quarterback, Jonathan Taylor, James Cook are my starting running backs, Jamar Chase, Cooper Kupp are my starting wide receivers. I got Dalton Kincaid as a tight end. One of my flexes is George Kittle. One of my first flexes is Jerome Ford. I have, Gus Edwards, Zamir White, Mike Wilson, Adam Thielen, Deontay Johnson on my bench.
Was this a snake or an auction?
Snake.
Okay. It's interesting because your team almost sounds like an auction draft team in that you clearly prioritize certain positions, and then your bench was like the 5 and dime. I'm just grabbing whatever's on the shelf to try to like piece it together in a MacGyver kind of way. And so I like the team starting. I don't like the bench too much. I'll give it a B+. But I think you're probably going to be playing the waiver wire, not so much to complete your starting lineup, but to perfect your bench over the course of the season.
Gotcha. Okay. And having just a quick question, I have 2 tight ends in George Kittle and Dalton Kincaid. Do you think getting rid of one of them for some value from another player on my team would be good? And like, what would be comparable value, and who would you get rid of?
The answer is yes, because you can't start 2 tight ends. Like, you don't have 2 tight ends where I see one of them as a flex. Like, an example, and I do make it about myself. I have a league where I have Trey McBride and I have Dalton Kincaid, because I think there are going to be weeks where one could actually be a good flex play, like as good as a wide receiver. I don't think you're quite there with Kittle. I think it really is going to be like 1 week it's Kittle, 1 week it's Kincaid. The fact that you're overloaded on the Bills in your starting lineup makes Kittle valuable to you, because the weeks they do play an elite defense, the weeks they play like the Jets defense, you may not want to play Cook or Dalton Kincaid, or you may only want to play Cook. So Kittle might retain some value for you. That said, Kittle is good enough where, yes, I would trade him, because I think you could probably pick up a tight end on the waiver wire who could be that 1 week substitute for Dalton Kincaid. I think Kittle, with another player, probably allows you to upgrade at a position. So yeah, I would probably move on from Kittle.
Okay. Sounds good. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you watching the show. Let's get to another caller. Let's see. Let's go to David. Let's see what David wants to talk about. David, what's good?
What up, man? Okay, I got a couple questions. Okay, so first off, here's my 10-man. I got Lamar, Saquon, Brian Robinson, Puka, Rashee Rice, Tank Dell, Kyle Pitts, and on my bench I got Keon Coleman, Cortland Sutton, Zach Moss, and Tony Pollard.
You need to fix running backs. You don't have a true RB2. I think you're weak at the running back position.
Right, so my question was, who should I trade to try and get that RB2?
Give me your wide receivers again.
Puka, Rashee Rice, Tank Dell, Keon Coleman, Cortland Sutton.
I don't think Tank Dell plus a running back, I don't know if it gets you where you want to go.
Right.
Who is that first wide receiver that I don't want to trade?
Rashee Rice or Puka Nacua.
Yeah, I don't want to trade either one of them. Here's the thing. Puka's going to regress from what he did last year. He played so well last year, I don't think he'll live up to that standard. He'll play well, but not to that level. So if you want to trade him when he's at peak value, play stock market, sell when his value is at its highest, I get that. And you'll get the best return in exchange. You immediately hurt your wide receiver position, so obviously you better be getting a good running back in exchange. I think that's doable. I would be okay with it. I actually think Cortland Sutton could be a sneaky steal for you as a replacement at wide receiver in the right weeks. Yeah. But I don't love giving up Puka, but you need to make a move at running back. And I value running backs more, so the answer is that's probably what I would do.
Okay. One more question.
Sure.
If I had to start Brian Robinson, Zach Moss, or Tony Pollard this week, who would you start?
I would start Zach Moss. Zach Moss has been designated as the RB1, and even though I really like Chase Brown for the rest of the year, at least for the first few weeks, I think Zach Moss will be that RB1. And all I'm hoping for him is that he fills in the Joe Mixon role. Get me one touchdown. And like 35 rushing yards, and I'll call it a win. So I'm kind of hoping that's the case for you. That's probably what I would say, but like, tough.
Yeah, for sure. All right, man.
Appreciate it, David. Keep watching the show, bud.
Yes, sir.
I hope you guys know how grateful I am for all of our viewers across TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, Kick, Instagram Live, and obviously on Twitter. I hope you guys follow on all of our channels. We're live Monday through Friday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. That's Monday through Friday, every Monday through Friday at 4:30. We do subscriber-only shows at night at 10 p.m. on TikTok. So if you want to get a bunch of questions in, if you want me to answer every question you have, could be 100 questions, I don't care. Subscribe on TikTok, join us for our night shows, and then we do a Sunday pregame show. Sunday morning, 10 a.m., all the way up until kickoff, we will be live. So if you have questions, if you're waiting on injury reports, doesn't matter, we'll be here for you, talking you through every decision, trade, waiver wire pickup, because Butt Fumble Sports, we just love talking. Who doesn't love talking sports? Who doesn't love talking fantasy football? You guys know I do. I am going to sign off. We've been on for about 90 minutes so far. pretty good show. Pretty good show, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed the callers, the questions, the answers, the content, the conversation. If you want all of my picks every day, I research sports betting picks every day. I put them on the SHARPZ app. They're available every day. DM me on Instagram. Every bet, every day is free. I never charge for them. Why? Because you people work hard for your money. You should not be spending money on buying someone's picks. You should get that for free. I make it available for free every day. You can follow, you can fade. That's up to you. But they're available. You can see them. You can tail them. You can do what you want with them. So if you want that, DM me on Instagram, ButtFumbleSports. ButtFumbleSports is my handle on Instagram. DM me there. And along those lines, we actually have a new sponsorship, which includes every sports book that is of note. All the major sports books are now backing ButtFumbleSports, and you can get promo codes and all that good stuff. Just hit up my link tree. You guys know how things work. Hit up the link tree. You get promo codes if you're a first-time user on FanDuel, DraftKings, Caesars, BetMGM. It's a new sponsorship. We'll talk about it more in different shows, but I want to make you guys aware of it. That said, I really hope you guys love the content today. It was a lot of fun. I will do a subscriber-only show tonight. We will do a subscriber-only show tonight. So if you want to join me for that show, subscribe on TikTok. If you want to join our show at 10 p.m. tonight, subscribe on TikTok so you'll be able to get your questions in. Hopefully you guys got all your questions answered, and if not, I'll hopefully see you later. Stay healthy, stay safe, have a wonderful evening, everyone, and I'll catch you guys for the subscriber-only show tonight. Until then, goodbye, everybody.